I bought 10 of the cheapest Nintendo accessories that you should buy. They are simple and easy upgrades for your Nintendo Switch to help you get the most out of your console. In this video, we're going to test and review every single one of them. First, let's start with these super cool RGB lights. Now, I've purchased lights just like these ones, but for Xbox and PlayStation, and the exact same brand has got an even cooler version, but for the Nintendo fans out there. These right here are Super Mario themed RGB lights. They've got 3 different light modes. You turn them on using this button right here, and you can cycle through these modes by just single pressing it each time. First time it'll be like a solid color, second time it'll sort of phase between colors, and then the third one will do, again, it's a different light pattern going between the different icons. Just like with the Xbox and PlayStation variations of these lights, you have the option to both power these via batteries or via a USB port, which I personally use on my ones. It just means you can have them on all day and you don't need to change the batteries all of the time. Just literally throw the USB cable that is included inside of the box and into like a little power plug adapter, throw that into the wall socket, and then you can just have these on your desk, on a shelf within your bedroom, your office, wherever you want to use them, and they're just really nice for adding a bit of a gaming vibe to a room without overburdening it too much. It's very simple and cheap to get a bit of an aesthetic going. A pretty solid option, and they don't cost too much, around $18 to $20, and I have seen them go for a little bit cheaper in some of those Amazon flash sales. Next up, we've got a very unusual accessory, which is a head mount for a car. So obviously the Nintendo Switch is a portable device that's handheld, but you can take the Joy-Cons off to obviously do multiplayer and play with a friend. Now, if you're traveling within a vehicle, you're going to have a bit of a problem with where to place the screen when the Joy-Cons are removed. And also being able to have both players visibly see this display will be difficult if you would just prop it up inside of the car somewhere random on, like, the middle seat or something like that. This is a nice way to secure the Switch so it's safe, because obviously the car's going to be moving, going left to right, all that type of stuff, so your screen's just going to slide around within the car wherever you try and balance it, and it's super cheap. This thing's like £10, I think it was, so about $15. It was incredibly cheap. It's just a little Velcro head mount, so this goes over and in between the actual headrest within the car. So obviously you've got the 2 seats in front of you, the driver's seat and the passenger seat in the front. You can throw this basically through the headrest mount, Velcro it around the headrest, and then you can just put the Switch inside of here. It'll look something a little bit like these instructions where the Switch screen's displayed inside of it. Now, I think this is a pretty awesome option, especially if you maybe have a sibling that you travel a lot with. You've got a little brother, older sister, older sister, whatever. It gives you something to be able to play on the games together with while you're traveling on long car journeys, on holidays, etc. It's incredibly easy to install within your car. It doesn't mark anything because it's made out of very soft material. This is just sort of like an elasticated material, so it's not going to scratch any aspect or tear anything on the back of the headrest. And it's just a super cheap solution that's very convenient and does exactly what it's intended to do. It's also very beneficial that it doesn't just work with the Nintendo Switch. It is a universal car mount, so it works with other tablets as well, so you could throw your iPad inside of there, and a huge range of other devices that basically fit within these inches here, a 7-inch all the way up to a 10.5-inch tablet. So a lot of versatility in what you can throw in here display-wise. Which also makes it a pretty awesome option if you want a way of watching movies in the back of the car with your headphones on, so obviously you don't distract the driver, and then you also don't need to sit there for hours holding your iPad and your arms get tired. You know what I'm talking about if you watch a lot of videos on a portable device. It can become very fatiguing. Next up, on the topic of displays, right here we've got an unusual cable that only costs around $7 to $8 that allows you to screen mirror your Nintendo Switch to a larger display. Now you're probably thinking this is a little bit pointless, Ben, because obviously the Nintendo Switch comes with a docking solution, so you can dock it in place and use it as basically a console, like plugged into your TV. That is 100% correct, and I would agree. At first, this seems pretty pointless, but the way you use this super cheap cable isn't as a dock for the Nintendo Switch. It's a way to actually share your screen to the Nintendo Switch while you still use it as a handheld console. So this is great if you've got a big party of friends over and you don't want to obviously dock the Nintendo Switch, then use the Joy-Cons in a traditional manner. You maybe want to be sat playing how you prefer to play, maybe in a more social aspect. You maybe got a couple friends surrounded by you, but then you can still put the same gameplay onto the big TV, so the other people in the room can see what's going on. It just gives you a little bit more versatility in how you want to share what you're doing on your Nintendo Switch. Also, obviously, use it as well for watching movies or etc., whatever you want there. This is a super slick little cable that is really well designed in terms of its aesthetic as well. It ties in with the Nintendo Switch color scheme, so it all looks pretty tidy. Unfortunately, I've got the Nintendo Zelda edition, so it's a completely different color scheme here. If you've got the traditional one, it'll match pretty well. These cables come in a bunch of different sizes. This is a 2-meter cable, so quite a bit of length there to get it connected up to a display. And I think it's just a nice way to basically share what you're doing on your screen with other people in the room without destroying and ruining the experience of what it's like playing properly on the Nintendo Switch in that portable fashion. Now next up, we've got the world's smallest Nintendo Switch controller. I'm not even kidding, this is the smallest controller I have ever seen. Right here, I've got another product made by 8BitDo. Honestly, these guys make so many products for the Nintendo Switch. In my last video where we looked at the coolest Nintendo Switch accessories, you'd have thought it was sponsored by 8BitDo. Every product was 8BitDo, 8BitDo, 8BitDo. I promise it wasn't. I buy all of these things on Amazon. So this right here is an unusually small controller that you may at first think is completely pointless because who's using this? But hear me out for a moment. This microcontroller is designed to be the perfect mobile controller, both for the Nintendo Switch and also mobile gaming. So let's take an example of a mobile game like maybe FIFA or something else on the Apple Arcade. Obviously, you can play those games with your phone in your hand, like so, and you can use your thumbs on the control pads. But that isn't the most perfect or most comfortable way of playing these games. And you may also want to maybe play a split screen game, like something where you could maybe have 2-player on there. If you have a Bluetooth controller connected, some games do support that. So instead, you could prop your iPhone up, like for example at school with a friend. You could pop it up on the side, and then you could grab these super cheap controllers that literally cost like no more than, I think it was about £17 for one of these. And you and your friends could play with these little mobile device controllers. Another way that they work great is with the Nintendo Switch 2, is of course if you are taking your Nintendo Switch to school or something like that and you just want a really light setup, you can have your Nintendo Switch propped up, and you could obviously use the Joy-Cons because those are controllers themselves. But then if it's a 3 or 4 player game, you could have some of these in your bag so people can play. It's a pretty nice little portable controller that's designed both for the Nintendo Switch and also for your smartphone as basically a Bluetooth control pad that's pretty tiny, but not the most comfortable to use for extended sessions, but great for a quick 20 minutes, 30 minutes sharing it around with your friends. Now this product's probably one of my favorite within this entire video. It's super simple. It's literally just a Super Mario mug. Now I enjoy purchasing all of these different gaming mugs that you can get for all the different themes. We've got some cool Halo ones before, we've had some PlayStation ones. I've also had some other Super Mario style mugs that had a huge handle on them that was a little bit ridiculous. But this one right here is nice, simple design. It has the history of all the different variations of Mario over the years, and it's in a regular format. The mug is actually normal. A lot of these gaming mugs just have got ridiculous handles on them that make them very hard to wash and also a little bit clunky to use, especially if you're a bit younger with smaller hands. This is a safe bet to purchase for anybody, either as a gift or for yourself. It's just super duper cheap. These things cost around $10, $15 tops, and it looks like you've thought through. You get the favorite Nintendo game on there, maybe get a Pokemon one, a Zelda one, and a great little option as a whole. I personally like this Mario one. Obviously, it's the most iconic character within the Nintendo franchise. And on the topic of Mario, let's take a look at some special cases. Now, in my last video, I went through and covered a whole bunch of various different cases you can purchase for the Nintendo Switch, and there wasn't really any point in me purchasing any other ones for this video because I already have like 4 or 5 of them lying around, and I have my personal favorite ones. This one right here is obviously themed after Mario's little plumber outfit, which I think is quite cute and a good little option. This is a nice one for around $10, $12, cheap or one that you can pick. Inside's okay, you've got a little place to throw all your different games and so on, and the protection's nice. It works with both the Switch and Switch Lite. But my personal favorite ones were these options right here that were a little bit more padded inside and had a bit more structure for the overall games that were available for them. They also had some really cool limited edition ones for Mario, Pikachu, and so on that was available on Amazon. So I'll leave a link to all of those down below in the video description if you want to check any of those out in further detail. They're all priced roughly the same, ranging from $15 all the way up to $22 at the tops, and all fundamentally achieve the exact same thing, but just have slight variations here and there, depending on your preferred design. Now, this next accessory is very similar to the Wii Sports add-ons that you can purchase, which are super funny and cool to use, but it's actually designed for Mario Kart. Now, in the past on this channel, we've taken a look at some official steering wheels that you can purchase for Mario Kart. These are great options, but obviously they're a little bit more expensive, ranging from around $40 all the way up to $110 for the Pro Mario Racing Wheel. They're fun and awesome accessories, but a much cheaper alternative is the Joy-Con attachments that you can purchase for Mario Kart. These are very similar to the ones you used to get on the Nintendo Wii. You know, those old white things that came for free with the Nintendo, and you would throw your little Nintendo Wii remote in there, and you would be able to steer with these little plastic add-ons. Exact same premise, but for the Nintendo Switch, for around $12, you get 2 of these little black plastic steering wheels that you can throw the Joy-Cons into, and then you can use those for Mario Kart. It's just a little fun way to level up the overall experience compared to just racing with the traditional Joy-Con and steering with the thumbstick. You can actually steer with a little bit of motion. Next up, we've got a great option if you are a social gamer on your Nintendo Switch. You maybe play online with some of the online features, or you're just looking for a great pair of headphones so you don't annoy people around you with the volume, because some of those Nintendo characters, when they talk, can be incredibly irritating for anybody who's not playing the game. These right here are the Huawei official earphones for the Nintendo Switch that are actually way cheaper than you would first think. These things are only $20. These are an officially licensed product. They have the color scheme of the standard Nintendo Switch, obviously that beautiful blue and orange type color that they've got on here. But these are multifunctional, so they are obviously earphones that are quite comfortable to use. You can use these, sound quality on them also very good, but they also double up as a party chat headset for any online speaking with this microphone right here. You then also have an element of control of these microphones down here with this little volume switch, so you can adjust the volume, turn it up and down, you can mute the microphone, etc. But you can also completely remove the microphone if you don't want to use it. So it just simply detaches like so with this little jack here. And you can just use these as a standard pair of headphones with your smartphone, with your Nintendo Switch if you have no intention of going online, but the option's always there if you ever desire to. Overall, I think these are one of the best options for a cheap pair of headphones for the Nintendo Switch, and they are also much more practical than a pair of a headset. So obviously traditionally when you play video games, you get a headset that you'll game with, like with a big massive earphones and a chat headset for your Xbox, PlayStation, PC. I feel like the Nintendo Switch, with it being a portable console, that form of audio is a little bit clunky. You know, they're much more bulkier to travel in the backpack, and also you've got to get them out and wear these huge pairs of headphones. Whereas these, you can throw these literally in the pocket of your pants. You can throw them in your backpack and not really care too much, and they don't get too tangled that badly. And then you can just throw them straight into your ears, play super comfortable, and you don't have a lot of bulk that you're traveling around with. Now let's quickly take a look at the final 2 products that I want to share with you within this video. The first one is this little $15 portable gaming console. Now this is heavily inspired by the OG Nintendo sort of handheld things, how the company started way back when. And it's like it's a Chinese knockoff, obviously, of these retro machines. But it has the same nostalgia and premise of anybody who's a fan of Nintendo. This little retro arcade device has got so many games on here. They're all 8-bit games that give you complete retro arcade machine vibes. And when you boot the device up, there are so many for you to choose from. You just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. To be honest, there isn't too much to complain about. This thing's only $15 and you're guaranteed to have some fun with it. You can't not enjoy some of the games on here. Now, this final product that we're going to take a look at is another one by 8-Bit Do. These guys make some bangers. This is a little USB stick that looks not anything special at first, but it actually enables further compatibility with controllers on your Nintendo Switch. It only costs around $15, 100% worth it. So what you basically do is you throw this into your docking station, and it allows you to use Xbox, PlayStation controllers with the Nintendo Switch. It unlocks the compatibility of them. You can then create like controller profiles, reassign buttons, etc. And it works fantastically well. It saves you from having to purchase the Switch Pro controllers that are very expensive at like $75 each. So if you already have another console within your household that's got lots of gamepads, then you can just basically use those gamepads on your Nintendo Switch because of this little converter device right here. It works surprisingly well and saves you a ton of money, so you don't have to outlay even more cash on plastic controllers that will just lie around your house. Because to be honest, like the Joy-Cons double up as fantastic controllers anyway, so you'll predominantly be using those when you use a Nintendo Switch. But just for those couple of games where you want that full console experience and you want a proper gamepad, then obviously this is a great option. Just use the Xbox controller you already have. Obviously, these are just some of the cheapest accessories that you can purchase for your Nintendo Switch, but if you've got a little bit more cash to spend and you want to see me unbox some of the coolest Nintendo products ever made, you should check out this video next and subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one.